Hi, I'm Jeff Lockman, and welcome to the Ikan Tech Corner. Today, we're going to talk about the J100 Jib Kit from eImage. This is the J100 Jib Kit from eImage. It's a lightweight jib kit designed for use with lightweight cameras like DSLRs, mirrorless cameras, and small camcorders. When you order this kit, it'll come in 4 pieces. You'll get the J100 Huntsman jib arm, you'll get the GA752 tripod legs, you'll get the EI7004C universal dolly, and it'll also come with 3 counterweights, and each of these weighs about 5.5 pounds apiece. There's a lot to go over on this kit, so we're going to start in the middle and work our way out from there. Now, the J100 Huntsman jib arm is based off of a 75mm ball system, which means it'll work in any 75mm bowl tripod legs. Here at the base, we've got our pan lock, we've got our tilt lock, we've also got pan and tilt drag. Now, pan and tilt drag is something that you don't usually see in a lightweight jib, and it's something that eImage has included, and it uses the same technology that they use in their video heads. Also on the base, we've got parallax controls. We'll get into that a little bit more later. So, we'll start by unlocking the jib. You can see it's got a good range on it, and this is the jib while it's fully extended. Now at this length, it is about 48 inches long, and the arms can collapse from the fulcrum out to the camera to be about 30 inches long. Moving out from the center, we've got a mechanical tilt control. This tilt control, like the name suggests, controls the tilt of the camera. So, mid-operation or while you're setting up, you can preset the tilt of the camera without having to adjust the length of the tilt arm or the main arm. Now, if you look very closely, there are tally marks here on the tilt arm, on the top arm. Whenever you're calibrating the jib, you want this to be set to 0. So, right there. And the tally marks range from 4 to 0 in the middle to -4. Now, eImage suggests that when you do your calibrations, the jib be perfectly level, or as level as you can get it, and that you start with your tilt setting at 0, like so. Moving further down, we've got the locks for the length of the tilt arm and the main arm. And these are pretty simple. To unlock them, you unscrew them. And once they're loose, you pull in, push out until you get the length that you want. And you can also use this as a way of establishing a baseline tilt for your camera. So if you pull that arm back, you're going to start with higher elevation. And if you pull this one back, it'll be lower. You have to keep in mind that the head can only tilt so far. So make sure that whenever you're presetting, and you give it a test run, and make sure that your limits are realistic. Out here at the end of the jib arm is the camera mounting head. Now this head has a quick release system built in that uses the GP1 mounting plate. And this plate is the same as you would find in eImage tripods like the EG03A2 or the EG06A2. It's very easy to install onto the bottom of a camera. You've got a 3/8/16 screw and a 1/4-20 screw, and also a retaining pin for cameras that are compatible with that. You simply screw the plate into the bottom of the camera and slide the plate into place. There we are. Like so. Once the camera is mounted onto the head of the jib, you're going to want to balance the jib. To do that, you're going to unlock the arm, the tilt arm. And this is telling me that my camera is a little bit heavier than my counterweight. So I'll relock that, grab a weight, and come back here. Now the handle on the back of the J100 is removable, slides right off and unscrews. And the weights can be repositioned with these locking cuffs. Now, if I wasn't already at full extension, I could just pull the weight arm out a little bit more to counterbalance it. But since I'm at full extension right now, I'm going to have to add more weight. And there is a tiny little pin back here that will keep your weights from sliding off if the cuffs fail. You can see that right there. So when the extra weight is on, pop the cuff back on to keep them from moving around. Put everything as close together as you can. And now let's check our weight. Now we've got more weight towards the back of the jib, so we can do that arm adjustment. Push the counterweights in, unlock. Just a bit more and we're there. Let's come back to the parallax controls. Now, something that you don't see in other jibs on the market is the ability to control how the camera moves whenever you're raising and lowering the jib. Now, for starters, with the parallax control at 0, at the very bottom, if we unlock the tilt and raise and lower the camera is going to point in the same direction. In this case, it's about parallel to the floor. But if we adjust the parallax controls, what we're doing is changing the point of focus of the camera as it moves. So whereas now it's parallel to the floor, if I tip it up, and I'll tip it up all the way just to show this off, you'll see that the camera will tip up and tip down to stay focused on a given point on the horizon. Now, you'll have to play with this a little bit and set up a monitor to make sure that your camera is focused in the right spot. But by adjusting these controls and your starting tilt point, the lever here, you can raise and lower your jib without losing your subject. There's an example of the parallax controls at about halfway. The head is very customizable. The way that it is right now, you can undo this screw here and lift it off. You can do a couple of things with this. You can flip it around and set it back on and tighten it into place, and it gives you a little bit of an extra extension. At the same time, it allows you to position the camera in slightly different places on the head. So you can go all the way down there where there is a safety catch and lock it in place. Or you can go all the way to the top. There we are. Now you can also flip this upside down. Now if you have anything to mount upside down or that you want to dangle off of the end of the jib, this will allow you to do that. And there it is locked in place. Now, one last thing that you can do with this head, and we'll do it from the standard position. There we go. Is you can attach the 75mm bowl adapter. You've got the 3/8 and the 1/4 screw, and it slides into the jib head just like the quick release plate does. There you go. And you can position it anywhere along the arm. Just like the quick release plate, the 75mm bowl extension can be mounted onto the head in any orientation. So you can flip it around and extend it. You can have it hanging out from upside down. You can even attach it to the quick release plate and have it hanging off to the side if you want a little bit of an offset in your shot. Last but not least, let me demonstrate the pan and tilt drag on this head. Starting at 0 drag, and there are 0 to 3 degrees of drag for both the pan and the tilt. You've got free movement. Very easy, very quick, but it's not very controlled. One stage of drag. A little bit of resistance. A lot smoother though. Second stage. More resistance, very smooth. And the third stage of drag, There we go. Moving on to pan drag. Unlock the pan. And right now, we are at 0. So again, we got free movement. One stage of drag. Two stages of drag. Extra resistance, very smooth. And 3 stages of drag with extra resistance and extra control. Rounding out the kit, we've got GA752 legs that are standard on tripods like the EG03A2 and EG06A2. Then at the very bottom, we've got a new dolly from eImage. It's the EI7004C. Now, this is a universal dolly in that it's got a place to mount traditional eImage tripods that come with the dual spiked feet, but it also has a track where you can mount more traditional tripod feet that don't have a dual spike or have a single spike. Specs for that will be on the website, www.icancorp.com. Last but not least, the J100 jib kit comes with 2 bags. You get an SC1 bag for the GA752, and you get this custom bag for the jib kit. So inside you got a place for every component of the jib. This is for the 75mm extension arm. This is for the quick release plate. This is for part of the handle, and that's for the other part. This is the T part, and that's the end. And then, of course, you've got the jib itself and the 2 cuffs that hold the weight in place. The case is also wheeled and has 2 handles, one on the top and one on the side for easy carrying. And that's all for the J100 jib kit from eImage. For more information on this jib kit or any other eImage products, visit our website, www.icancorp.com. Thank you very much.